welcome to Back of Thoughts, episode 1st. Have you ever found yourself rambling through internet, striving to fill your mind with worthy or trash information? 2020 is perfect for that, isn't it? Back of Thoughts is going to be my little experiment. Since we have the lockdown right now and going somewhere to make videos is not that simple any longer, let's try a podcast. I'm going to give you a couple of facts and ideas about some topics that I got interested myself in the past few days, and I hope maybe I will inspire you too to continue on that topics. There are many people creating valuable content for the internet. Some of them become popular and begin being interviewed. Creators tend to be bombed with same questions over and over, which might be frustrating, I imagine. One of the most commonly repeated questions I hear at such interviews is, how did you come up with an idea for this or that? So how are ideas formed? Not a specific brilliant idea, but any creative and original one. Scientists at the University of Haifa suggested in 2015 there are two contradictory networks in the brain activated simultaneously when coming up with an idea. Default mode network is one of them. It's linked to spontaneous thinking and daydreaming. The second one is executive control network, engaged when we focus in on our thoughts. The stronger the connection between them is, the more original ideas brain can come up with. In 2018, scientists from Harvard University came up with a conclusion there is also a third network involved, silence network, which helps us work out what best deserves our attention. All in all, this topic is still being researched, just like many other topics. How many? That's probably hard to estimate, but it was estimated just how many scientists work on these topics. According to UNESCO estimations for 2013, there were 7.8 million full-time science workers, which corresponded to about 0.1% of the whole population. Moreover, Future of Science Institute claims that 90% of all scientists who have ever lived live today, and we're still in the phase of exponential growth in science. Personally, I could rather not be a scientist. Well, take Nikola Tesla as an example. He alone was an author of about 300 patents protecting his 125 inventions. Nowadays, this is no longer possible. A life of a scientist is usually focused on a single, narrow field and occupies most of the person's life. Majority of new discoveries are important to push our civilization forward, but insignificant in terms of shifting the way we live. Imagine a guy building a spacecraft, which will safely take him to Mars and back in his backyard. That's just unrealistic. Inventions we aim for now and which potentially can change our lives require dozens of hundreds of people collaborating. Myself, I prefer to do many different stuff at the same time, and well, I cannot really become an expert in a single narrow field this way. My motivation is that I would miss out so much of things possible to do in such a short lifespan I have. United Nations estimated the average life expectancy at birth in 2019 for all of the world's population to be 72.6 years. It's a lot more than in the past, but it's still nothing in terms of, well, almost everything. Even some random cactus can live up to 200 years, which is twice as much as you. The age of the universe is estimated to 13.772 billion years. The age of Earth, well, 4.54 billion years. Traveling at the speed of light would take you 4.24 years to reach the nearest star to Sun, called Alpha Centauri. But do you have a spaceship which could travel at the speed of light? Is that even possible? Yeah, maybe, of course, who knows. But we don't have such technology, and it would take you 81,000 years to reach Alpha Centauri at the maximum velocity of 56,000 kilometers per hour, which is our current technology capability. And you? Where are you at all these calculations? Well, at best you can live 122 years and 164 days, cause that's how long the longest living person lived so far. However, there are so many ways to die, I'm not counting we will live that long, at least the majority of us won't. But if you're not planning to leave this world anytime soon, then maybe start planning some trips that you're going to go for in future. In that case, check TraviTrip, which is a little application that will help you organize your trips, available on Google Play. However, if you're not really into traveling, but you still don't know what to do right now, then check What to Do application, which I just recently published on Google Play as well. Maybe it will help you, who knows. A nuclear disaster is an interesting way to die. Nuclear energy wasn't always a topic of fear, which was generated by the Chernobyl incident and more recently the Fukushima case. Particularly, the Fukushima case is interesting. Following the disaster, only a single person died from radiation, while 2,202 people died from evacuation. The total death toll that time was over 18,000 people. However, they died due to the earthquake, tsunami and evacuation rather than radiation. Nuclear power can be, of course, dangerous, but so can be water if you drink too much of it, or salt if you eat too much of it. Just 47 teaspoons of salt eaten at one time can kill you. Nevertheless, having fear is rather better than having no fear at all. Before humanity realized the danger of radioactivity, there were atomic toys available on the market. Who wouldn't want their kids to play with an atomic energy lab at their bedroom, with some radioactive uranium included? At some point in history, powering vehicles with nuclear reactors seemed also as an obvious idea. Till this day, there are over 30 nuclear reactor-powered satellites orbiting the Earth. There was also Fort Nucleon, a car powered with a nuclear reactor. And thankfully it was never sold, but imagine if this car would just crash into your house one day. Are you having a hard time imagining things? Try lucid dreaming instead. It's a kind of dream in which you can stay conscious and in which you can take control. It's like having VR embedded in your brain. And it's awesome. I used to treat my brain with techniques to provoke lucid dreaming. I was trying to find an anchor which would help me to realize when I was dreaming. I kept a dream journal as well and tried to remember my dreams. It really works. Lucid dreaming has been first claimed to be true by Keith Hearn in 1975. Since then, many scientists picked up the topic and investigated further, confirming lucid dreams really exist. They also identified characteristics of the brain while lucid dreaming and claimed it may be the way to locate metaconsciousness in our brain. And you know, we still don't know where metaconsciousness is. However, lucid dreams stay mysterious and unknown to many, and this is a door for speculations. Let's speculate then. How about our reality is being a non-bug-free system and lucid dreams are a glitch in it? Speaking about the living in simulation theory, I think it would be sad if it's proven to be true. Firstly, because in that case you are nothing more than information which sooner or later will be erased and gone forever. Secondly, because it also doesn't explain the existence whatsoever. If we are in the simulation, then how the person who created that simulation was created, how they came to be. However, even if we think about creationism, actually it means that we're in a kind of simulation just created by God, and we're hoping that we will never be erased. It's more romantic to think about. Romantic are also flowers you bought to your girlfriend, who pays you back with happiness in kind. Whether money gives happiness, it depends. There are cases of people who won millions in a lottery and they lost it all, ending up being worse than before. But there are also those people, like say Bill Gates, who just have plenty of money and they generally seem happy. So does it make sense to drop off college like Bill Gates and start your own company? Probably not. And this is because, of course, there are a couple of these guys like, well, Gates, of course, and Jobs and Musk, who started college and then just dropped off and created some company and made millions, but we don't really hear how many people dropped off college and they never really became anyone. So leaving college inspired by Gates or Jobs may not be the brightest decision you can make, but well, if you have a revolutionary idea, then go for it. And I think it's same with making YouTube videos. Did you like this podcast? Please give me a like and subscribe. Maybe there will be another episode. But you know, there is also a chance that we will find another planet suitable to inhabit, and there is also a chance that we will actually inhabit that imaginary planet one day. So maybe.